everyone. Welcome to Raw Recipes with Haley. I'm Haley. I own Living Raw by Grace. I teach people how to eat healthier with really easy, really simple, really delicious, really nutritious recipes. So today we are going to be making a dessert, and I love making desserts because it's one of the first things that most people give up when they start to eat healthier or when they're trying to lose weight. And so if I can help you replace those desserts with something really nutritious that helps to heal your body from the inside out, then all of a sudden you have another option in your toolbox. And for most of us, eating desserts is really important. Some of us have sweet tooths where it's always been a kind of reward to ourselves. It's a way to kind of unwind. It may be a way to de-stress. And mental health is just as important as physical health. And if you can combine the two, then perfect. So healthy desserts are where it's at. That is where we're going. We're going for delicious food that still feeds our bodies, not just our taste buds. So peach cobbler is one of my favorites of all time. It's also my husband's favorite. When he learned what I was making today, he claimed it. So as soon as I'm done eating it here, I have to give it to him and he's going to finish it. It actually makes a lot of food, so you'll get to see at the end. This is a really easy recipe, and I can't wait to show it to you. So it's also extremely versatile. One of the reasons I love my peach cobbler is because it's also apple cobbler, or strawberry cobbler, or cherry cobbler, or you name it. You change the fruit and you have a totally different dessert. And it all depends on what's in season. So we're in the middle of summer right now, so peaches are in season, stone fruit. We talked about this earlier. If you can get some stone fruit into your bodies, some peaches, some cherries, you name it, apricots, plums, now is the season. They're going to be cheaper, they're going to be more delicious, they're going to be even easier to find. And so the more you can consume, the better. Peaches are super nutritious. Now when I say peaches, I also mean nectarines. Peaches have a fuzzy skin, nectarines have a smooth skin. They're fairly interchangeable. It doesn't really matter. I find that nectarines are a little more sour and peaches are a little sweet. But honestly, it depends on where you get them. Sometimes they're interchangeable as far as I'm concerned. So if you prefer nectarines, because you don't like the fuzz on peaches, you're not alone, then you can totally use them in this recipe. It can be nectarine cobbler, if you'd like. So the very first ingredient is, of course, peaches. Now I'm going to be making a fairly small amount because I didn't have a ton of peaches. So you can scale this. You can make this a lot or a little. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to start with 6 peaches. I know, you're like, you said small. Don't worry. So the first 3 peaches, you're going to chop into small pieces and you're going to put them in your container. I already did that. It's never fun watching someone chop on camera, so I did it beforehand. So depending on the size of your peaches, it's entirely up to you how big of pieces you want. I'd like to say dice, but if you make them too small, then some of the texture's lost, and I love the texture of a soft peach. So we got some peaches. I don't take the skin off. I don't do anything else. I just chop them and that's it. Now some peaches come right off the pit like that and it's really easy, but some peaches you have to kind of cut around the pit, and I became an expert at that because a lot of them just don't come right off. So you're going to just kind of cut around that pit as much as possible and chop the rest in little pieces. So 3 peaches go in here, diced. And then the other 3 peaches, you're going to cut. Now, can you see? I've cut them already. But if you notice, I didn't cut them very small this time. So this time they're going to be blended. So I don't need them super small. So I'm going to put all of these in here. So this is the other 3 peaches going into the blender. Now they're going into the blender with. So 3 peaches in the blender. I'm not going to write this recipe down. So if you are looking to make this, pay close attention. I'll summarize toward the end too, so you can see exactly how it's made. And you can write it down if you want to. Or I will put a link for one of my books if you would like more dessert options. I have a whole book just on desserts. Okay, so we have 3 peaches in the blender. We're going to do a 1/2 cup of raisins. 1/2 cup of raisins into your blender. 1/2 cup of raisins. And we're going to do a teaspoon of cinnamon. Just a teaspoon. All right, so in the blender we have peaches, we have cinnamon, and we have raisins. That is it. We're gonna blend it up. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of chopping when it came to the peaches that went in my blender. The reason I didn't chop is because I have this, the tamper. So I'm just gonna turn it on high, I'm gonna push everything into the blades, and I will be done in no time. It's really fun. Now, if I didn't have a tamper, and if your blender doesn't come with a tamper, then you wanna chop a little bit more. Do more work so that your blender doesn't have to do as much. I paid a lot of money for this. I needed to do all of the work for me. All right, so we're just gonna blend it up until it's nice and smooth. That's it. It's that simple. Peaches, cinnamon, and raisins into the most delicious sauce. Now, very often, if my kids are around, and I'm not around right now, I have to make a double batch because as soon as I use this to go into my dessert, they want the sauce for themselves. Sometimes I'll make this like applesauce. I'll make a big batch of it, and then I will put it in little containers, and they will have peach sauce like applesauce to enjoy throughout the week. It is delicious, you guys. And if you're like me and you love going peach picking, the season is almost over, unfortunately. And in Arizona, thanks to COVID, there's been no peach picking opportunities. But when I go peach picking, we take the whole family, all 6 of us, and we pick like 60 pounds of peaches, just so that everybody has an opportunity to do so. Now, 60 pounds of peaches is a lot, so we're having peach cobbler and peach sauce and peach smoothies and you name it for a while. And I tend to freeze a whole bunch of peaches for the rest of the year too. I didn't have that this year, so I'm just getting peaches every week until they're no longer around. All right, so you're gonna take this peach sauce and you're gonna pour it over your diced peaches. Now you can put this in a really cute bowl if you would like to serve it right away. I'm putting it into a glass container that I'm gonna store in the fridge because I really did think that it would last more than a day, but after my husband's reaction, and I haven't even told my kids yet, it probably will be gone before tonight. Before I go to bed, there will probably be no more peach cobbler. And it makes me realize that I just haven't been making as much desserts for them as I usually do. We make ice cream on a daily basis, but they haven't had peach cobbler since last year at this time. All right, so now we have what looks like peaches in sauce. Can you see? Can you see them? All right, so this is the filling of the cobbler. Now we're gonna make the crust. Now the difference between a pie and a cobbler is that the pie crust is usually on the bottom and the pie tends to be exposed, whereas a cobbler, the pie crust is on the top and the filling's underneath. The fun thing about that is that it doesn't have to look pretty because the crust is just gonna go on top. And the crust is really easy and really delicious. So let's do crust. You're gonna do 1 cup of raw almonds, and you're gonna put them in a food processor. Now, I'm not putting in my blender, not in my Vitamix, because I don't want almond butter. I want a crumble. I want some texture to it. So I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to grind my 1 cup of almonds down until they are nice and fine. It got quieter. Could you tell? Okay, so it's nice and fine. You can tell that they're about ready when it gets a lot quieter. Almonds are really hard and they're very noisy when you grind them down. So when it gets a lot quieter and easier on the ears, you let it grind long enough. All right, now we're gonna do, so we did 1 cup of almonds. We're gonna do 1, and make sure they're raw almonds, not roasted, not salted, because that will change the texture and the taste of the dish and not for the better, and you lose some really good nutrition. All right, so we're gonna do a cup of dates. Dates, yeah, aren't those pretty? But they're delicious. All right, so we're gonna do a cup of dates. After you have, after you've ground the almonds, that's when you add the dates. And now we're gonna grind them again together. Hold on tight. Okay, when they're ground together, it should look something like this. Can you see it? It's just a crumble. And then I'm gonna pour that crumble on top of my filling. So it's really easy, one cup to one cup, 1 part to 1 part. And then I'm just going to even out my layer, and it looks like this. So we've got a nice little crumble topping with a delicious filling, and that, my friends, is my peach cobbler. That simple, that easy. Honestly, the longest thing the thing that took me the longest to do was to dice the peaches before camera. It's really easy. It is 5 ingredients. You've got 6 peaches, half a cup of raisins, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 cup of raw almonds, and 1 cup of dates. That's it. It is remarkably easy. It is remarkably fast. It's really affordable. And if you not sure you love the cost of the dates, because dates are probably the most expensive thing out here. Sometimes I use raisins for both, for the filling and for the crumble, and then it's really cheap. But then it really tastes like raisins. And if you love raisins, it's great. If you don't like raisins, it's noticeable. So feel free to do raisins or dates. They're both interchangeable. If you want to really be rich and delicious, you can do dates in the sauce as well, and then it's super sweet and delicious. But if you're looking to save a little bit of money, you'll do raisins and dates, a little bit of both. The almonds are delicious and amazing, but you can change that out for other nuts. If you want to try pecans, oh, heavenly. If you want to try Brazil nuts, if you have an issue with nuts and you want to try a seed and do, say, pumpkin seeds instead, make sure that they are not in their husk, that they've been dehusked before you put them in. But then you don't have to worry about tree nuts in your dish, and it is a nut-free or a nut allergy-free dish, which is kind of fun. If you have questions about this dish or questions about further dishes, please reach out to me. I would love to help you. If you would like more desserts, I will post a link of my book in the comments, and hopefully you can order it if you don't already have it. If you need more ideas, or if there's a specific fruit or vegetable that you are looking to use this summer, I would love to help you out. So drop me a comment or send me a message, and we'll talk more about food together. Otherwise, I will see you next week for more raw recipes with Haley. And I still haven't made the menu yet, so if you have suggestions, I'm open to them. Otherwise, I will see you again next week. You know what? I have to eat a little on camera for you. It's kind of a necessity. You should see what it looks like when I eat it. Also makes you all very jealous. You guys, so good. So this lasts at least a week in the fridge. Longer in the freezer. Really good all in one day. So good, you guys. I hope you make it. I hope you share it with me. Tag me in a photo if you do make it. I would love to hear all about it. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend, and I will see you again next week. Bye.